Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 3 of the Big Show. Good to have you with us today. ToddStarnes.com is our website, and all sorts of great information for you to check out there. It is good to be back in our flagship studios here in Memphis, Tennessee. Busy weekend out at the Reagan Ranch and speaking to a little over 100 high school students who are part of the Young America's Foundation, and had a terrific time with those folks, Katie Pavlich over there, and also Governor Scott Walker, and then speaking to about 500 students at West Coast Baptist College there in Los Angeles County, Lancaster, California. And it is good to be back with you. At this very moment, up on Capitol Hill, Supreme Court hearings, or the hearings underway for the Supreme Court nominee, Judge Jackson, not necessarily getting grilled, but Republicans say that they're going to ask tough questions. I want to go to the Patriot Mobile Newsmaker line. We are very honored to have Mike Davis with us, a member of the Article 3 Project, a former chief counsel for nominations, and the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Mike, good to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me on.
All right, well, let's talk about this so far. Opening statements underway. Senator Josh Hawley seems to be leading the charge with these allegations that Judge Jackson has gone soft on pedophiles and child predators.
Yeah, and it's 100% true. If you look at her, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's 25-year public record as a law student, as a sentencing commissioner, and as a judge, a federal judge, she has a 25-year documented record of advocating and even ordering lighter sentences for child sex predators, including people who possess and distribute child pornography.
And yet, Mike, the problem I see here, and it's a pretty smart move on the part of the Democrats, they know that these Republicans are going to think twice about asking any question simply because of the color of Judge Jackson's skin. They don't want to accuse of being a racist. So do you think that, in your estimation, do you think we are going to get those tough questions being asked?
I think Senator Hawley's going to do it. He's already proven that he's courageous on this issue. And I think it's important to remember this, that in these Supreme Court confirmations, you're confirming these nominees to the highest court in the land for the rest of their lives. And so you do a thorough vetting of these justices, right, these Supreme Court nominees. Senator Dick Durbin, the chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, has denied a routine and narrow request for Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's records when she was the vice chairman of the Sentencing Commission, which is the government body that comes up with the recommended sentencing ranges for Congress and for federal judges in criminal cases. Chairman Durbin has denied a routine and narrow request for her records from 2010 to 2013 when she served as the vice chair of the Sentencing Commission. And we are at the Article 3 Project, the group that I run, has learned why. And the reason is because she took it on her own initiative as the vice chair to direct the commission to look into child pornography cases, into possession and distribution of child pornography, because she thinks that Congress's 5-year mandatory minimum for these creeps is too soft. And so she made that one of her pet projects at the Sentencing Commission, and that's what they're trying to hide.
And folks, Mike has this all outlined and very well researched over on article3project.org. That's article, the number 3project.org. Mike, how dangerous would a Justice Jackson be to the country?
Well, we have to be careful how we say this. She's going to be one of 9 justices on the Supreme Court if she's confirmed, and she's one liberal replacing one of only 3 liberals. The problem is they're not thoroughly vetting her record. And, I don't know if it's because they're scared because she's a black woman, like you suggested, or if there's some other reason. But there is a real divide in this country. There are people in this country who truly believe that child sex predators, people who enjoy watching children being raped. That's what child pornography is. It's child rape because these kids cannot consent There are people like Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson who think that a group of pedophiles watching children getting raped should not be punished as harshly as we punish them. And the problem with that is we create a market for this stuff. And with the explosion of technology, with the internet being widely available all over the world, high-speed internet, with our phones having cameras, we're seeing an explosion of child pornography, especially in third world countries like in Southeast Asia. And if we don't have a very strong deterrent, a 5-year mandatory minimum for these creeps, these kids are going to keep being victimized around the world.
No, and you're right. There's a movement afoot, and it's not, again, this is like where transgenderism was just a few years ago. But you've got some advocacy groups that are now calling for the legitimacy of pedophilia and to make it part of that LGBTQIA group. So, again, I don't know where we're at on that, but that is a dangerous, dangerous path that this country is going down. Mike, I want to ask you about the Gitmo terrorist. According to your, you've got a Twitter post that Judge Jackson helped free 729 Gitmo terrorists. Harmeet Dillon was on the program just about an hour ago, and she said that should be off limits, that those Gitmo terrorists were deserving of the best defense they could get. What say you?
I love Harmeet. I think she's a warrior and she's a good friend of mine. I just disagree with her on this. And I think what you have to understand here is there's a difference between being a federal defender, which Judge Jackson was, where you have to take all the cases that come in your door, murderers, terrorists, rapists, everyone. Everyone has a right to a defense. What happened with these Gitmo detainees is not that at all. It's when Ketanji Brown Jackson was in private practice at Morrison & Foerster, MoFo, as they called it. It's a big international law firm, and she was working in the D.C. office. I was at law firms for 5 years. I ran my own law practice for 5 years. You're very, very busy, and so you're very careful about the free legal matters, the pro bono matters that you take on. Ketanji Brown Jackson wasn't even representing these terrorists as clients. She was representing former judges, and she advocated to the Supreme Court of the United States in amicus briefs to the Supreme Court in 2008. She advocated that these Gitmo terrorists should have habeas rights. They should have the right to go into federal courts. The problem is they had never had these habeas rights before, and they shouldn't have these habeas rights because they're battlefield detainees, right? And she argued this. Justice Kennedy wrote an opinion joined by the 4 liberals in a 5-4 decision. They accepted Ketanji Brown Jackson's rationale, and that forced the government to start releasing these detainees. 729 of them have been released. 229 of them have returned to terrorist activities, and 12 of them have killed 6 American soldiers and civilians. This is a direct consequence of Ketanji Brown Jackson's advocacy to the Supreme Court of the United States.
All right, Mike, we're going to have to leave it there. Appreciate your insight here. And folks, again, article3project.org. We have a direct link in our live show blog. Mike, we appreciate your great work here, and I know we'll be checking back in with you as the hearings continue.
Great. Thank you for having me on.
All right.